If you're not afraid of China, you might be soon, because there's a lot of people that are working very hard to terrify you about China.
China, 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 China.
AUKUS, our nations will update and enhance our shared ability to take on the threats of the 21st century, just as we did in the 20th century, together. Our nations and our brave fighting forces have stood shoulder to shoulder for literally more than 100 years. Through the trench fighting in World War I, the island hopping in World War II during the frigid winters in Korea, and the scorching heat of the Persian Gulf. The United States, Australia, and the United Kingdom have long been faithful and capable partners, and we're even closer today.
Over the past few decades, China has been able to grow their economy to the point where most countries in the world have some type of significant trade with China, and the United States is very upset with that. In response to China's growing economy, the United States has doubled down its militarism and is now forming a new alliance between the United States, the UK, and Australia.
What does the president make of being compared to former President Trump by an ally such as France?
I would say the president doesn't think about it much.
This represents a significant shift in strategy. We have to remember that both NATO and Five Eye already exist, and this new alliance is literally Five Eye minus 2 members. That is Canada and New Zealand. New Zealand recently tried to back away from some of this Cold War stuff with China and is trying to develop positive, friendly trade relations with China. For this, it seems they're being squeezed out of this new trade partnership, where in its formation, and especially regarding this nuclear sub-deal, the United States actively snubbed France, a NATO ally, in this agreement with Australia.
Why couldn't the administration, not just inform, but bring in the French? They also have nuclear-powered submarines.
You mean in terms of a fourth partner to this? I'm not sure what your question is.
France was one of the founding members of NATO, and Canada and New Zealand have long been a partner of this Five Eye relationship. What appears to be the case is that China's friendly trade relations with the rest of the world has put the United States in a position where it has few countries to go to when it comes to fear-mongering for their new Cold War, and that they're using Australia as a launching off point for incursions into the South China Sea.
What does the president think of the French foreign minister saying that he's acting like former President Trump and being unpredictable, and the French canceling their gala now in DC at their embassy because they're angry over this agreement?
China has been attempting to interfere in our upcoming 2018 election. I am the first president ever to challenge China on trade, and we are winning on trade. We are winning at every level.
Because we all recognize the imperative of ensuring peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific over the long term. Now, as a key project under AUKUS, we are launching consultations with Australia's acquisition of conventionally armed nuclear-powered submarines.
The United States is using a trade waters dispute that is local to the South China Sea as an excuse to send in naval forces and provoke China. They are actively trying to start a Cold War with China when China clearly has no interest.
Trump was planning on completely destroying the U.S. economy just to attempt to teach China a lesson.
The world is fundamentally rejecting our system of imperialism where we dictate the global economy through bombs and force. Countries around the world are choosing to work with China instead of the United States because China is offering them vaccines, transportation, and public education. All the United States has to offer is pipelines and bombs. Instead of coping with this reality, where the United States doesn't get to dictate the entire world economy, it seems that Joe Biden and these reactionary forces are insistent on going down kicking and screaming, trying to start a Cold War, instead of accepting the fact that no, the United States isn't the most powerful country in the world anymore. Don't let yourself get sucked into this propaganda. Don't let yourself get sucked in to this Cold War.
It is distressing and dangerous that a fast-growing consensus is emerging in Washington that views the U.S.-Chinese relationship as a zero-sum economic and military struggle. The prevalence of this view will create a political environment in which the cooperation that the world desperately needs will be increasingly difficult to achieve.
This is Ben Carollo with Rebel Headquarters. You can catch my show Galaxy Brain on the Young Turks Twitch channel every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also follow me on Twitter if you want to stay up to date with my content.